If sine theta equals 2/5 and theta is in quadrant 2, find the following trigonometric function values. Let's begin by sketching a possible terminal side of angle theta in quadrant 2. Let's just say this is the terminal side of angle theta. Then the reference angle would be the angle formed between this ray and the x-axis, or this angle here. Let's also sketch the reference triangle, which should be this triangle here. From here we also know that sine theta is equal to 2/5, and on the coordinate plane sine theta is equal to y divided by r, and because 2/5 is equal to y divided by r, we now know that y is equal to 2 and r is equal to 5. But because we want to find these 5 trig function values, we also need to determine x. And we know x is going to be negative in the second quadrant. Referring back to the reference triangle, because the sine function value is equal to 2/5 and the sine function value is equal to the ratio of the opposite side to the hypotenuse, we can label the opposite side of the reference angle +2 and the hypotenuse +5. And now let's find the value of x using the Pythagorean theorem, or the equation x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Using x squared plus y squared equals r squared, we substitute 2 for y and 5 for r and solve for x. But remember, x is going to be negative. Performing this substitution gives us x squared plus the square of 2 equals the square of 5. Simplifying, we have x squared plus 4 equals 25. Solving for x squared, we subtract 4 on both sides, which gives us x squared equals 21. And now to solve for x, we square root both sides of the equation. When we do this, we include a plus or minus on the right, which gives us x equals plus or minus the square root of 21. But again, because we are in the second quadrant, we know x is going to be negative, and therefore x equals negative square root 21. And we can also label the adjacent side in the reference triangle negative square root 21. Now we have all the information we need to determine these 5 trig function values. Well, first remember that sine theta and cosecant theta are reciprocals of one another, and since sine theta is equal to 2/5, cosecant theta is equal to the reciprocal of 2/5, which is 5/2. And now let's find the cosine function value as well as the secant function value. On the coordinate plane, cosine theta is equal to x divided by r, and therefore cosine theta is equal to negative square root 21 divided by 5. Or using the reference triangle, we would have the ratio of the adjacent side to the hypotenuse, which also gives us negative square root 21 divided by 5. And the secant function value is equal to the reciprocal of the cosine function value, and therefore the secant function value is negative 5 divided by square root 21. And now let's find the tangent function value and the cotangent function value. Tangent theta is equal to y divided by x, and therefore tangent theta is equal to 2 divided by negative square root 21, or just negative 2 over square root 21. Or using the reference triangle, we would have the ratio of the opposite side to the adjacent side, which still gives us negative 2 divided by square root 21. And then the cotangent function value is equal to the reciprocal of the tangent function value, and therefore the cotangent function value is equal to negative square root 21 divided by 2. Before we go, notice the denominators of the tangent function value and the secant function value are irrational, and therefore let's show how to rationalize these 2 trig function values. If we have negative 2 divided by square root 21, to rationalize the denominator, we multiply the numerator and denominator by the square root of 21. Multiplying in the numerator, we have negative 2 square root 21. In the denominator, we have square root 21 times itself, which simplifies perfectly to just 21. And therefore, we can also express the tangent function value as negative 2 square root 21 divided by 21. Similarly, for the secant function value, negative 5 divided by square root 21 is equal to negative 5 square root 21 divided by 21. I hope you found this helpful.